So I'm here just for you, buddy. You can hang there if you want to. It's probably more interesting to stand there than there. Okay, somebody's on. Hello. When you're here, please say hello in the chat. Hi, Vicky. And then I just mark them. I just take attendance. Hi, Sadie. Hi, Konstantin. Hi, Finton. Clara. Yeet Tay. Is that Chris or? Sorry, I don't remember who Yeet Tay is. Julie, hi. Alicia. Oh, it's Richard. Thanks, Richard. Alicia, Julie. Finton, have you done the band stuff? That's a good question. Finton, have you done the band stuff? Jacob. Hi, Claire. Hi, James. Hi, Jasmine. James? You go. Let me see. 3, 6, 8, 11. I got 11. 11 are here. Can one of you please post it into the WhatsApp chat? Okay. Hi, Errol. Felix. Okay. Sophie, this better be urgent. Nope, that's not urgent. Sorry. All right. Hey, Sophie. Okay, 2, 6, 7, 11, 14. I've got 14 here. Did somebody post on WhatsApp that you guys that we're having this chat right now? Okay. Thank you, Vicky. I just saw that. Sorry about that. Thank you, Vicky. Okay, I'm going to wait about a minute to get started. It's 10:02. There's another person showing up. Let me see up here how many people are on. Okay, they left. Maybe that was just a weird person kind of stalking us. That could be too. Okay, while we're waiting, I'm just going to quickly read through the list of people who are not here just to make sure you are not actually here. Henrik. Wait, Claire is here. I saw her. So Claire is here. Charlotte. Ellie. Ryan. Yeah, I saw that, Claire. Yes. Carlos. Chris. Saskia. And Hagen. Are Finton and Felix exchanging their usernames for some stupid game? Really? Seriously? Seriously? People. Okay. All right. Good. Hey, welcome back. I know you guys are excited to be back in school, as so to say. Hope you had a good break, even though it doesn't feel that much different from what we did previously. I have Mr. Weiss sitting in on the class, just so you know, if you're not weirded out, if I look over there, he's just kind of watching what we're doing. And otherwise, we're keeping going because we're going to do a lab, as you guys know, on the PhET simulation software that I sent you guys. All of you should have tried that out by now, or should be in the process of trying that out. I think I gave you a deadline of Wednesday to get that done. And I will post you a specific assignment for what to do. But by Wednesday, I want all of you to at least have tried out this specific simulation that I sent you guys on Google Classroom. Okay? Never works for me, Konstantin. That's bad. Have you figured out what the problem is? Is it the device you're using? So here's oh, okay, good. Okay, I'll take a minute to talk because you guys are 10th grade. I'm happy to chat with you guys for a second about your life and not dying and all that stuff. Okay, I get that. Because the Zanat came out with the, well, I think somewhat surprising decision to have 10th graders come back next Monday, but it is what it is, and the school is taking preparations to make this work safely. Here's the intention as far as I understand it, that they want you good, Konstantin, super. So they are only going to have instruction for 10th graders in the 3 subjects that are tested on the MSA, meaning math, English, and German. And we will not have full classes, meaning you're not going to be all together, all 23 of you in a room. That wouldn't be safe. So they're going to split you up into 2 or 3 groups, depending on room size, depending on if it's a full, like for math, for example. English and German, I know you guys have different learning groups anyway, so I don't know how that works, because you might be in a learning group in German that's very small anyway, then you might just stay in that learning group. So they're going to split up the groups and make it a safe size for the rooms to maintain the 1.5 meters minimum distance required between students and the teacher to make it, able to still do the social distancing thing. Okay, so they will do that. They haven't come up with a plan yet. It's only Monday of the week before this is going to happen. It's going to happen next Monday. That's the plan, at least, and they'll come up with a plan. I hope soon, but again, we're only back in session now officially for 2 hours and 7 minutes since 8 o'clock on Monday after spring break. So just be patient a little bit. Chris is going to be here 10 minutes late. Okay, good. Anything else happening here? Okay. Are you guys okay then? I mean, I'm not okay. I mean, it's kind of nerve-wracking. I get it, to come back to school after being at home this whole time. But at the same time, it's also a cool opportunity to see people again. So, hey, that's cool. And as long as we're careful, and this should be okay. I mean, in other situations, people are. No, I have not heard any timetable for the other sites. So that right now it's just for the main 3 sites are supposed to start with, which would mean your school day most likely would be very short. Hi, Charlotte. Okay. Meanwhile, when you're doing this with your 3 subjects, math, English, and German, I will keep doing what we're doing right now for physics. So we'll maintain once a week 30-minute live streams, and I'll also have assignments that you guys can work on. Okay, so let me come to the start of the lesson. I just have a whole thing planned I hope will help you with your lab activity. Okay, so when we were still together, those were the days, right? I showed you guys a slinky like this, okay? And you can kind of see what it is, right? It's a slinky. And I hope you remember this. Hi, Carlos. You can also check afterwards if somebody was there. Right. You don't have to do it right now. Oh, hi, Chris. Or no? I think I showed you this. Like oscillations, moving back and forth, bouncing off hands. Okay. Are you guys still there? Somebody just say, yes, you showed us that, or no, you did not show us that. I don't remember if it was 10F or 10E that I showed the slinky to. Anybody? Okay, thank you, Finton. What I want to talk to you about today is waves on slinkies, because those are not super relevant to our life. But if we think about this wave, we're going to step back just a little bit. This oscillation here, okay, that should remind you of what? What is some stretched thing that you might have used today or yesterday or sometime, or maybe your parents are harassing you about practicing something that does this more often? Yes, that is a wave, but where do you create waves? Like my daughter, Sophie, actually has a teacher where she's supposed to go once a week, playing an instrument, exactly. So piano, guitar, violin, they all have strings like this, okay? And the strings oscillate, okay? So what we're going to do is think about what kind of waves are on that string, okay? So let's make a drawing of that string that we just had. Okay, that's the string and that's the ends of the string. And we just saw this string oscillating back and forth kind of like that. Do you guys agree with that? Did you guys see that? Okay. And for a violin string or a guitar string, this would have a certain length. Like that, okay? And we'd be able to see the wave. Now, let me ask you this. If this length L were to be, let's say, 0.8 meters, just to make something up, okay? How long would the wavelength be in that case? How long would the wavelength be of this wave? Just type it in the chat. Okay, Finton says 0.8 meters. Don't be shy, people. Type something in. Do you guys agree with Finton, or do you think is a different answer? Are you okay? So people are jumping on the Finton bandwagon. Jacob is at least 0.8 meters. He thinks as well. Anybody else want to agree or disagree with Jacob and Finton? Don't be shy. Okay. Claire agrees. Come on, people. We got 17, 19 people on. We got some more opinions coming. Let's go. Let's go. 1.6, Alicia says. I like it. We got two sides to the debate. Okay, let's go, everybody. Pile on. Either you're with Finton or you're with Alicia. There we go. Jacob's changing his mind. Whoa. Finton's being abandoned by Jacob, his sidekick. Whoa, that's harsh. Come on, guys. I'm waiting for you to type in. There you go. Chris comes with 1.6. Okay, so everybody else? Nobody? Nobody? There we go. Nice. Richard, thank you. Even coming in with the explanation. So Richard just posted, if 1/2 is 0.8, and this is what we're looking at. Good job, James. Nice job. Yes, indeed. We're looking at half a wavelength, okay? That's half a wavelength. So in this case, we can say, yes, Sadie, you're right. So we can say that L is equal to lambda over 2 in this case, because it's the half a wavelength. And of course, that would mean, whoa, are we still on? Hang on, we just kind of scooch over a little bit. There we go. So L is lambda over 2. So what that means is that lambda is equal to 2L in this case. Okay, and then for our example, this would be 2 times 0.8 meters, which would mean in this case, this wave would have a length of 0.6 meters. 1.6, sorry, 1.6 meters. Okay, hang on. I'm going to make the dot a little bit clearer so it's easier to see. Okay, does that make sense? Shouldn't follow me. Oh, yeah, okay, good. Good point, Finton. Yeah, exactly. Finton always has an opinion, but it's not always right. Okay, good. So here we go. 1.6 meters. Good. That makes sense so far. Okay, good. Now, the question I have for you guys is, now if you're playing a violin string, or you're playing a guitar string, that string is playing this tone, and you can hear it, but we don't talk about this in terms of wavelength. Okay, we've talked about how we characterize sound waves and what characteristic of sound waves are we normally describing them with. Just post it in the chat. Good. Hertz, pitch, those are all good. And the technical name, what do we measure in hertz and what do we characterize as pitch? What's the physics word? Frequency. Good, thank you. Good. So we're talking about frequency. So frequency, this is the wavelength that we found now in this case. And we'll call this lambda 1 in this case as the first wavelength, because we'll have other ones. And we'll get to that in a minute as to how we would get those. But we'd like to find the relationship that connects this to our frequency. So there are 3 quantities that are connected. Lambda, frequency, so wavelength, frequency, and there's a third one. What third quantity is related to frequency, wavelength, and then the third one connected? What's the third one that connects those 3? We talked about that before break. I don't know if people remember that. I hope you do. So looking for this, frequency times wavelength is speed. Good job. Good. So frequency is times wavelength is equal to speed. So in our case here, good, nice. So we're looking at this. We have here, we have the speed, the frequency, and we have the wavelength. Now, the speed itself, okay? The speed itself is a property of the material. We talk about for the speed of sound for air. We talk about the speed of light. We talk about, in this case, about the speed at which the sound travels in the string, but that speed only depends on the material, so it'll be the same independent of what the frequency or the wavelength is. So these two are directly connected through V. Let's do an example of that, okay? So let's say we have here middle A as a note. And let's say our frequency is 440 hertz. Okay, 440 hertz. And we'd like to use that information to find the speed of sound inside this string. So we know the tone's frequency is 440 hertz, and we do know the wavelength. So you guys work it out. What is the speed of sound in this material? Great. Nice job, everybody. So it's F1 times lambda 1. So that would be 440 hertz times 1.6 meters. That would be 704 meters per second. Everybody okay with that? That makes sense. Okay, cool. Now, let me ask you this. Let's say we take this guitar string that we just described and we shorten it. Okay? We're going to shorten it, and we do this by using the frets. Okay? So you have your hand on the neck of the guitar and you move it to a different spot and you push the string down, and you've now shortened the string that effectively oscillates. Okay? So let's say that specifically we've shortened our string to be exactly half the length. Okay? So we basically have moved our hand. So now the string has been shortened to half the length. Okay? So this is a new length. Okay? So this is L new. And this one is now 0.4 meters. We've shortened it. Okay? Does that make sense? So we have half the length now. Okay? And if that's the case for this new example, we'd again have a wave that can oscillate on here, and it would look something like this. And the wave would kind of go back and forth like this, rather than this. Okay? And the question I have for you is, what is the new wavelength that is now on this string? Oh, colors. This would be fun in color. I'm going to do it purple. So for the purple one, we'd like to know, oh, does that show up on there? Let me see. Yeah, that shows up okay. So now the wavelength, as people are typing it in, nice job. So the new wavelength is equal to 0.8 meters. It's twice the length of the string. So we now have 0.8 meters. Good job, people. Nice job. So 0.8 meters. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay. So the wavelength is 0.8 meters, and people are kind of anticipating my next question. Okay. And Now the next question is for you guys. The wavelength has changed. Has the frequency changed? Has the speed changed? Or have both changed? Okay, so just type in VF or VF or neither. Hey, what the heck? There's 4 possibilities. We're Americans. We love multiple choice. So VF, or neither. What has changed as well? Lambda has changed. Has V changed, F changed, VF, or neither? Finton, as usual, first in the chat, posted V. Yuli P posted VF. VFs are happening. Claire comes in with V. Charlotte says V. Ooh, now we're really piling on with the V. All right, here we go. Yuri says lambda. That's true. Lambda has changed, but we already acknowledged that. We said that already. So it's either VF, VF. Well, there we go. One of those 3. And that's not going to be neither. That's stupid. I'm sorry. We'll just take that out. VF, or V and lambda, Yuri says. All right. Good. You guys are all wrong. Fantastic. So here we go. So earlier on, I know you were all listening carefully. We talked about what does not change. So you have a material such as a string, okay, or the air, and that material has the same speed in it no matter what. So the speed doesn't change. The speed should be the same because it's still the same string. The string hasn't changed. Okay, we haven't tightened the string. We haven't replaced the string with a different string. So if you know how guitar works, guitars have different types of strings. They have different, like they have, some of them are metal, some of them are nylon, and you also can change the little twisty knob, the tension in there, and those things change the speed. But the string itself, once you use one and the same string, will have the same speed. So in this case, speed does not change, but the frequency does change. So we can look to our previous example and say, okay, we have the speed from the previous case. It's still 704 meters per second. So now, knowing the speed is still 704, and knowing that the wavelength is now 0.8, we can take those 2 pieces of information to now find, I'm going a little fast because we only have 2 minutes to find the new frequency, okay? So this means frequency, this new purple frequency, is equal to the speed divided by the wavelength. So in this case, 704 meters per second divided by 0.8 meters. And what does that give us? What is 704 divided by 0.8? Idiot triangle. Correct, Finton. That's right. Astute conclusion. Nicely put. Okay. Does somebody get it? The new frequency is 880 hertz. So we have a new tone on here with a frequency of 880 hertz. And there's a couple ways of looking at that. First of all, you can say, cool, that is a tone that's twice as high, or in terms of its frequency. You can also say it has a higher pitch. Now, when we talk about music, we generally talk in terms of octaves and those kind of things. And an octave is actually twice the frequency. So this is an A, 440 is middle A. This is one higher. It is 1A higher with twice the frequency. That's what that number is. So now you have a better idea of how frequencies on strings are created. We actually literally have a bell at 10:30 because we're at school. That's the end of class. I can see you guys packing up your papers. I'll be available online to answer questions about the lab. And otherwise, I'll see you next Monday. See you, assuming this works, because I don't know what they're going to do with your schedule, but I will. If it doesn't work, I'll schedule a different time for our YouTube live stream. Okay, I'll post pictures of this and I'll post this on YouTube. It'll be available. Bye. So Chris, when you're done, so just hit Stream beenden.
Gotcha.
And then hit it there.